Hello everybody, my name is Katie. Welcome to AADL TV. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make balloon animals out of paper. I know that normally when we think of balloon animals, we think of animals that are twisted out of actual balloons into something like a dog or a giraffe. This is a little bit different. These animals are origami, which is the Japanese art of folding paper. So let's take a look and see what they look like. There they are. You can see that I've got a kitty here. This one's a little bunny rabbit and a pig. They're all very cute. These little balloon animals can be many different colors or sizes depending on what kind of paper you have. I have a couple different kinds today. Let me show you. I have just some standard printer paper. It's white, rectangular paper. Grabbed it out of the printer, pretty standard. I also have some origami paper. This paper is specially made for folding. It has lots of different bright colors in it, and it's square. And then this last paper that I brought with me today is just some old stationery that I found in a cabinet. I know I'm not going to use it, so I might as well use it for folding. Just make sure that the paper that you're using is okay for folding and nobody in your house is going to use it for anything else, and we can go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to start with the printer paper because that is the kind of paper that's most commonly found at home. And so the first thing that we need to do with the printer paper is find a square piece of paper out of the rectangle. So to do that, we're going to take one of the corners of the paper and fold it up to the side so that it is a triangle. And then we'll crease it along that diagonal fold, and then we're going to take this excess paper and we're just going to fold a crease on one side and then on the other. And this is going to make it so that we can just tear this excess paper off. If you want to cut it off with scissors, that's fine too. I just get a straighter edge when I tear than when I cut. Sometimes have a hard time cutting in a straight line, but if you don't, go ahead and use your scissors. So there we go, I've got this excess piece of paper. I'm just going to discard that. And now I've got a square piece of paper with a diagonal line down the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and make another diagonal line by folding it the other way. Alright, so there's that. And then I'm going to fold it in half horizontally, and I'm going to fold it in half horizontally again. And it just occurred to me that I'm folding white on a white table, so let me get a mat here. Maybe you'll be able to see a little bit better. There you go. So now you can see that I've got folds going diagonally and horizontally, all meeting at this center point. So the next thing that we're going to do is take these sides, these points right here on the side, and we're going to have them both meet at this point down at the bottom. And it can be helpful to do this one at a time. So if you want to fold that down and then fold the other side down so it looks like this. See that? As you do this more and more, it'll become more of one fluid motion. And then we're going to take these corners here down to our corners that are on the mat. Just go ahead and do that, and then press it down on all your folds to get some nice creases. And so we also want to just kind of move our triangles around, and we're just going to be creasing down the center crease just sort of a bunch of times. I like to flip it over and fold it. It just makes it easier to blow up when we get to that stage. So I've sort of creased it, and it's just moving all around. The bottom should look like that, and we're going to move on. So we're going to take this bottom triangle corner and fold it up to the top, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're creating sort of a diamond shape now, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just flip it over. Fold your diamond on this side. Alright. And then we're going to take these corners and fold them into the center line. Go ahead and do that. And then on the other side. Alright. And we're going to flip it over and do the same thing. Corner to the center. And this corner to the center. Alright. Now, when you're looking at this shape that we've got now, there's one side that is pretty stuck together, and then there's one side that's got some flappy bits on it. So we want to work with the side that's got the flaps on it and fold our flap right in half. Alright. Just hold that up so you can maybe see it. So we folded this flap in half. And now, this is kind of the trickiest part of this whole thing, I think. We're going to take this little flap, and there's a pocket here. Let's see, can you see that? There's a little pocket, and this flap is going to curl right into this pocket and then get flattened down. So you can maybe see that over here there's still this flappy bit, but this flap has been tucked into this pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this part in half, fold that down, and then open up my pocket a little bit and stick this in there. It's okay if you don't get this perfect. If it's sticking out a little bit, that's fine. It does not have to be perfect. And it gets easier the more and more you do this. Trust me, I've done this a lot, and I'm getting pretty good, but the first couple of times was not as easy. Okay, so next I'm going to flip it over. And you see we've got those flaps on this side too, but we're not going to stick them in the pouch pocket this time, because they're going to turn into our animal's ears. If you were making just a balloon that didn't have the ears sticking out, or maybe you're making an animal that doesn't have ears, you could go ahead and just repeat the steps that we did on the other side and stick the flap into the pocket. But I'm just going to fold the flaps back. So those are going to be our little ears. Alright, so we are done with the folding portion, and now we've come to the time where we need to blow up our balloon animal. I generally hold them pretty loosely like this. You can see there's a hole in the back of your animal, and that's how we're going to blow it up. So I'm going to flip the camera so you can see me blow it up. Alright, there we go. Here's our little animal. See, I try and hold it pretty loosely so that the air can go through. And let me just tell you, this does not always work on the first try. You might need to loosen it up a little bit more. You might need to blow into it a couple times. You might need to blow into it and then adjust it and blow into it again. So if it doesn't come out perfect the first time, don't worry, we can fix it. But here we go. Pretty good, not too bad. Let's take a look down here. Alright, so it blew up pretty good. There's just a couple, like this side didn't come out as far as it should have, so if you pull on the corners, that should straighten it out a little bit. See how that straightened out when I pulled on the corners? The front bottom I'm going to pull on to just like straighten it a bit. And there. And sometimes this is the point where I would say go ahead and blow into it again, just to get a little bit more air in there and maybe puff it out a little bit more, but this one looks pretty good, so I'm not going to mess with it. I also have with me today just a couple of Sharpies that I use to decorate my animals, but you can get a lot more creative than that and use colored markers. Lots of things that you can do. And I hadn't really decided what this animal was going to be yet, so I don't know. For me, it's almost always a cat. Give her a little nose, some little cat eyes here, little mouth, and some whiskers. There we have our little cat balloon animal. So cute. And you can spend a lot more time doing the decoration on the face if you want to, or not. Just leave it like this. It's fun to play with and look at this way too. So I'm going to just show you that a couple more times so that you can see it a few different ways with a few different kinds of paper. I'm moving to my origami paper now. I'm just going to pick a fun color. This one looks good. Nice gold piece of paper. And I'm going to start making my folds. Just doing my horizontal folds first this time instead of my diagonal folds. Doesn't matter. You can do it either way you want. As long as you end up with 2 diagonal lines and 2 horizontal lines that are all meeting at that point in the center. Alright, so now we're going to take these 2 sides down to the center. Oh, and I'm trying to do it in one fluid motion. Did pretty good. Crease those edges, and now we're going to take these corners down to the other corners below. Got a little triangle. And I'm just going to make some nice creases along the center by folding it a couple times back and forth. I don't know if this stuff is totally necessary, but this is how I've done it. And then just make sure that your bottom is looking like that. And you can go ahead and make your diamond by pulling up the ends of your triangles to the top. Alright, flip it over. Do the same thing on the other side. Alright, now I'm going to take my corners and pull them into the center line. And do it on the other side too. Alright, so now we have come to the tricky part again. Let's find our flappy side. There it is. Here's our flaps. And we are going to fold down this triangle in half to make a smaller triangle, which is the flap that's going to go into the pocket. There is our pocket. I just like to open it up a bit before trying to stick the flap in there. And then just curl it in. Sometimes curling and pushing seems like the best method. And just go ahead and do that on the other side. Fold the flap in half. Make a smaller triangle. Open your pocket. And slide it in there. There we go. Alright, pretty good. So I'm going to flip it over and make our ears by just folding these flaps back. There we go. Alright, we are ready to blow it up. Let's see how this one does. Alright, here we go. Here it is. Holding it loosely. Take a nice big deep breath and blow it up. There it went. Did you guys see how that took a second? So sometimes it takes a minute to get the air going through there the right way, but turned out pretty good, I think. Let's take a look. All right. There it is. That is actually pretty good. I'm just going to tug at the corners here to straighten it out a little bit, but I am pretty happy with this little yellow guy I've got going on. It's actually kind of funny that I picked the yellow piece of paper. I didn't mean to, but I have seen these yellow ones made into Pikachu. I just unfortunately don't know what Pikachu looks like off the top of my head, so I can't draw the little Pikachu on there. So for me, this one I think is going to be a little rabbit. So let's see. A little rabbit nose, and I'm using my smaller Sharpie on this smaller one. You have to be kind of gentle so you don't smash it in. But if you do, you know, you can just blow it up again. Alright, I've got little eyes, a little bunny mouth, a little smile here, and then bunnies. You know, my bunnies, you can tell they're bunnies because they got these teeth. It's not the greatest bunny today, but you get the idea. There we go, little bunny. So cute. Alright, I'm going to show you, I think, one more time on the stationery, just because it's a different kind of paper. It's actually, I don't know how much you can tell the difference between this and like the origami paper, but it's a lot thicker than the origami paper. I mean, I guess it's not like a lot thicker. It's not like it's cardboard or cardstock or anything. It's still paper, but it's just a little bit different texture. Just showing you a couple of times so that you get the idea, and also so you can see it done in a couple different ways, different types of paper. So I've found my square here, and I'm getting rid of the excess by creasing it. Again, you use scissors if you want to. But that works pretty well. So I've got my square with one diagonal crease already on it. Alright, now I'm going to do my horizontal creases. There we go. All our points are meeting in the center. And now we are going to take our outer 2 points down to the middle. This paper is a little bit tough, so I don't feel like you can do it all at once. I'm going to do each side one at a time. And then fold down the top triangle. Okay. Get our creases. Fold a bunch of different ways. Get those creases nice and strong. Alright. And then when you're ready to go, make sure the bottom looks like that. Now I'm going to make my diamond by pulling each of the triangle edges up to the top, and then on the other side. Alright. Now take these points of our triangles into the center. Again. I can definitely tell this paper is a little bit stiffer than the other paper. As the folds get smaller, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So keep that in mind when you're scavenging for paper. The thicker it is, the harder it gets to fold. Alright, now make our flaps to go in our pockets by folding them in half. Open up the pocket a little bit and sort of just roll that in there. There we go. Alright. Do that on the other side. Find the pocket and roll it in. There we go. Alright. Flip it over. Oh, wrong side. Make our ears. Alright. Time to blow it up. Let's give it a shot. Alright, here we go. Okay, needs a little work. Alright, so this is kind of a smashed little animal, but it's fixable, it's fixable. Oh no. Alright, just gonna pull out the edges a little bit, and this one's definitely gonna need to be blown up again. But I'm just kind of opening it up, see if I can help it. Alright, I'm gonna try blowing it up again. Here we go. I think that went a little bit better. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I kind of smashed the ears down a little bit, and let me pull the edges a little bit to get it a little flatter, make more of a square. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm going to pull this edge here. Alright. Here we go. Let's see, what animal haven't I made yet? I made a cat and a dog. I feel like there's lots of other animals that you could make. I'm just not being that creative with it today. It always looks like a cat to me. I don't know. Could we make it into... Nope, we're making it into a cat. Yep, that's what I'm feeling. I was just thinking you could make it into like a mouse or something, but they have curved ears, not pointy ears, I think. So you would need some scissors for that. I don't have any scissors with me right now. But that is another good point, is that you can use scissors on the ears and that'll help you make it into other kinds of animals. So you don't have like a million cats about like I do. Looks like we are almost out of time, but I just wanted to mention one other thing to you about printer paper. So if you've got a bunch of printer paper at home, or maybe you don't have a bunch of printer paper at home and you want to conserve it, but you wanting to do some origami projects, you can actually make your printer paper into 4 pieces of origami paper, and whatever you're making is going to be smaller than if you were just making it out of your printer paper, but you get to make it 4 times. So I like just finding the square like we do to start our projects with printer paper. Get rid of this excess paper here. Alright, got my square. And then what I do is just fold it in half horizontally and flip it over and fold it again horizontally in the same spot, so you got a nice crease there. And then just give it a tear. You see where I'm going with this? Now you're gonna fold one of those pieces in half, and again to get your crease. Alright, see, now instead of 1 piece of paper to fold with, I have 4 smaller pieces that I can fold into 4 things. Alright, so I wasn't going to make another one, but I figure why the heck not, right? I'm just going to make one since I've already got these pieces of paper that I just separated. One already has a diagonal line in it. I'm going to make another diagonal line. And I'm just kind of doing this so that you can see what it's like when I make one that's pretty small. I have made them even smaller than this, and I would say smaller than this, like using a Post-it or something like that. It gets a little tricky, but this size I think is still pretty manageable. So I'm making my triangle right now, turning it into the diamond. All right. Flipping it over to the diamond on the other side. And even this is a lot easier to fold than that stationery that I was using that's a little thicker, even though this is smaller. It's folding just a bit easier than that. Alright, so I'm folding my points into the center. And now I'm to the tricky part. Fold the flap, open the pocket, and curl it in. There we go. Fold our flap. Oops. And curl it into our pocket. This one's being a bit tricky, it happens, but there it goes. All right, flip it over, making the ears. All right, here we go. We're ready to blow it up. All right, see if we can do it. It's like half blown up. Look. Alright, so this side kind of didn't want to go. I'm just going to pull it out a little on either end. Ooh, this front really didn't want to go either. Man, we were doing so well with those first two. Coming out perfect on the first try. And then these guys, not so much. I'm going to give it another quick blow. Alright, it's a little better. There we go. It's kind of collapsed on one side. Of course, and the last one, it's just not beautiful. It's okay though. Get that little ear up. It's just kind of, I assure you, this can be done. Not the cutest little balloon animal, but let's just fondly remember these very cute ones that we made today. Thank you all so much for joining me and learning to make the balloon animals. I hope that you had a really good time and that you are checking out the other awesome craft videos on AADL TV, as well as our story times and other fun stuff that we have going on there. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later. Bye!